with you some of the opportunities that are available for you as Zimbabweans in the diaspora that you can exploit in Mashonaland East Province. As has already been mentioned by Ms. Kapesa, when we say Zimbabwe is open for business, it's not just propaganda, it's not cheap talk, it's not mere rhetoric, it is a lived reality. But you have to seize on the opportunity and make the most of the opportunity. Before I became a minister of state, I was working in Harare running my law firm. For the past 21 years, I was running a law firm, and I was doing some commercial and corporate transactions. But I made the most of my money from being a consultant in immigration. Not migration, but immigration. You know, if you go to the CBD of Harare, there is a place called the Likwenda House. That is where the immigration offices were located. And you realize that every day, there are hundreds of foreigners who throng that building. Very desperate. They hardly can speak any of the local languages. Most of them can hardly speak even English. You have the Chinese, you have the Pakistanis, you have people from Somalia, you have people from the Congo, you have people from Nigeria. They come on a daily basis in their hundreds, and they are trying to get into Zimbabwe. They'll be looking for papers so that they have some legitimate stay in Zimbabwe so that they can conduct some business. And I've seen them thrive and do great things, even though they cannot relate to the culture, they cannot relate to the language, they cannot relate to the context. But here you are with all the comparative advantages of being Zimbabwean and of being part of the people, the population, the culture. There's nothing that can stop you from exploiting the opportunities that are available in Zimbabwe except your mindset, except your attitude, and except your approach. So even before I speak of Mashonaland East Province, I want to extend an invitation to all of you to seriously consider the fact that if people can come from all parts of the world without any nexus with the Zimbabwean context and are able to make money and do good business, just imagine the possibilities if you would apply yourself and make an investment back home. As you have heard, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution of Mashonaland East Province, which is one of the 10 provinces of Zimbabwe, which is one of the 8 rural provinces of Zimbabwe. I always say that in Zimbabwe, we have 9 provinces, and then we have Mashonaland East. I say that without any fear of contradiction because we are the biggest rural province of Zimbabwe. We have 9 districts, and these are very famous: Uzumba, Maramba Pfungwe, we have Mudzi, we have Mutoko, we have Murewa, we have Goromonzi, we have Seke. We also have Wedza, where I also happen to serve as one of the members of parliament. So Mashonaland East Province presents plenitude of opportunities. And I have brought with me a whole compendium which is very detailed in terms of the projects and the opportunities that exist in each of the districts. Very detailed in terms of size, in terms of scale, in terms of the capital required. I favored Zido with a copy. They have an electronic copy, it's accessible. I'm also favoring our embassy through our Deputy Ambassador, Mr. Mukono. So once I've left the stage, please don't pursue me. We have a whole embassy full of staff that will be able to share with you the details. The same with Zido, they'll also be able to share with you the details. Mashonaland East Province is blessed with distinct comparative advantages. If you are thinking of investing in Zimbabwe, you must think of investing in Mashonaland East province and possibly in some other province. For the simple reason that if you think of Harare, I think you know Harare, you're all flown out of Zimbabwe through Harare, Robert Mugabe International Airport. The land and the province that immediately surrounds Harare in every direction, in all likelihood, save, I have to acknowledge because the Honorable Magomo is here, save when you're going the Mazoe Road to Mash Central, everywhere, every other road is likely to lead you into Mashonaland East province. We all know of Borodale, right? Once you go past Borodale, once you go past Headcliff, you know, around that Glen Forest area, you get into Mashonaland East province. You also know of Enterprise Road, where the high yield of Harare stay. Once you are past Highlands, Chisipite, Glenlawn, you get into Mashonaland East province. It doesn't matter even if you take the road that takes you to Shamba, that takes you first into the Goromonzi part of Mashonaland East province. If you take the other road, it takes you into Murewa. And in no time you'll be in Mutoko, you'll be in Mudzi, you'll be in Usumba Maramba Pfunge. If you think of going to Mutare, Kwana Samanyika, where my brother Mukono, grew up, the moment you leave Mabvuku and you are by that Noxim oil depot, once you cross that bridge, you get yourself into Mashonaland East province. If you choose to go to Chitungwiza, past Chitungwiza, you are straight into Mashonaland East province. Some of you left Zimbabwe before we had built the Trabablas inter-exchange. But let me tell you and demystify the Trabablas inter-exchange. It is an inter-exchange that we have built as the government of Zimbabwe to allow people ease access into Mashonaland East province. Because post the Trabablas, you get into the second district of Mashonaland East province. Building the second Bablas by Mabvuku, so that you also have ease access into Mashonaland East province. All the major trunk roads lead you into Mashonaland East province. You've got access to all the border highways. If you, the South African highway via Trabablas, the Forbes border via the Mutare highway, the Nyamapanda border via, of course, the Enterprise Road. So I want to share with you a few of the opportunities that are available. Our low-hanging fruits as Mashonaland East province is that we are a rural province. We are an agro-based economy. We produce so much primary products such as maize, your cereals, we produce milk, we produce the exotic vegetables. 70% of the blueberries that are produced in Zimbabwe are produced in Mashonaland East province. 50% of all the milk produced in Zimbabwe is coming out of Mashonaland East province. We are in the tobacco, you know, everyone knows of Saripai, everyone knows of Proton Bread. Those are companies that have harnessed the produce that we bring out of our fields. So sorry, they've gone on to make pies, they sell meat, they do the abattoir, they do everything, leveraging on the comparative advantages that we offer. You may have heard of Kefalos, that's in Seke. They are now exporting cheese, yogurt, milk, even into South Africa, Angola. They are coming, the milk is coming out of Mashonaland East province. You know, I don't want to mention these companies because they were set up by people who took an opportunity. But I don't want you to break new ground. If you come and invest in Mashonaland East province, it's certain that if you just do the basics right, you are in the right environment. And we are also the province that produces the best granite in the world. If you go to any airport, there is only one factor that distinguishes an airport, whether it's so good or it's not so good. If they've used granite that's coming out of Mudzi, Mutoko and Usumba, you will see that the airport will be so, good looking. But if they are yet to harness that quality granite, of course it will be mediocre. I don't want to give examples. I don't want to offend anyone. But there are opportunities in the granite sector. I mean, you can Google. This is a fact. You won't find granite is better. So I know people like gold, because I know my brother Magomo will speak more of gold because they're doing exceptionally well in gold. But you see, when you go gold mining, you have to know what you're doing, because there are chances also that you can put your money, you can put equipment, and the resource might not be there. But with granite, everything you take is money, because what you see is what you get. You don't have to go under. What you see is extraction, and you get your money. And people from all over the world are making money out of granite. The opportunities in polishing, in designing, and you need to embrace that. Of course, together with my brother Magomo, we also welcome you to come and register a claim. Those of you who did history at school like me, you need to know that Zimbabwe was colonized on account of the Radi concession, which was issued to the to Sisu John Rhodes and his company. Now, what I want you to know is that the Rad concession was an exploration authority for the prospecting and exploration of minerals in the land between Zambezi and Limpopo. So the foundational basis and premise of our nation is mining. If you're not invested one way or the other, my brother Madzima, there's a lawyer here, a commercial lawyer in Harare, he will tell you that if you are practicing law and you don't have an aspect of some mining in your portfolio, you have not yet started practicing law. So if you are here and you have made an investment, or you're thinking of investing and you are not connected to the mining sector, you have not yet started. But here are the facts. It's so easy. You go to the mines office, you buy for a very you buy a prospecting license. It allows you to go anywhere in Zimbabwe exploring for minerals. And once you have found some minerals, you can always peg, and then you can always get started. I was showing Honorable Magomo a video, which I think I will share with him and with a few others if he allows me. He's got a place called Kwakitsiatota in Bindura. Ordinary folk, they are making millions because they are just harnessing the opportunity that avails itself through mining. You can talk of tourism and hospitality, like Ms. Kapesa mentioned. Our vision as a nation is to become an empowered and prosperous upper middle income economy by the year 2030. Most of you, when you left Zimbabwe, people were not in the habit of going on holiday. Tourism was something that we associated with foreigners and people who were coming from other parts of the world because of the income levels. But we have seen a proportional rise and increase in domestic tourism that speaks also to the rising income levels. People want to travel. But because people are making money in Zimbabwe, they don't want to leave Zimbabwe. They want to tour in and around Zimbabwe. So there is an opportunity for you to invest in the tourism and hospitality sector. If you go to Mudzi, if you go to Mutoko, there is a hidden paradise where many have taken up the opportunity and they've built beautiful rural lodges. They've done rural facilities and people are making a good fortune. Later on, like in Mutoko, This is a must visit. I've lived in Harare for 21 years. I've not seen anything that's like Gore Resort, which is in Mutoko. I'm not joking. You go to Susque Lodges in Mutoko. My goodness, I know some of you have been to Vic Falls, but you haven't been to Zimbabwe. If you haven't been to Susque Lodges in Mutoko. Just on the periphery of Harare, 30 kilometers from the main post office of Harare, you have Glen City Camping Retreat in Goromonzi. Wow, it's a gobsmacking beauty. You need to visit Mashonaland East Province to experience. These are people who have taken a risk, they've invested, but they are being overrun because the demand is so much, and that allows opportunities for you. You may have heard of Mutaras Falls like Vamukono in Mashonaland. I know everyone has heard of Victoria Falls. You've been to Victoria Falls. Some of you have traveled to Niagara Falls in the United States. But let me tell you the hidden gem of the world. It's a place called Makurumure Falls. Makurumure Falls in Wedza. So beautiful. Now, this is not for tourists, it's for investors. Because Makurumure remains unexplored. We want lodges, we want amenities, we want facilities, we want themed parks. So it's an opportunity. Don't think like a tourist, think like an investor. We have seen a lot of companies here that are also investing in the property market. Now, when you retire, when you have done everything that you bring in the diaspora, I know that for a fact, everyone longs and wishes to have a place they can call home in Zimbabwe. So you've been living in London, you've been living in Birmingham. This is a big city. But when you go back home, you are slower, you are a little bit tired, and you want to be more relaxed. You don't want to go back and try and stay in Harare. You will struggle. I mean no disrespect to Harare, but big cities such as Harare are famous for the air pollution, they are famous for the noise, they are famous, for congestion. But you can be so close to Harare and yet not so far away from Harare. And there's only one place you can be, that is in Mashonaland East Province. We have land available in Goromonzi, we have land available in Seke, in Marondera. So if you're coming here, maybe the weather is a little bit cold and you've gotten accustomed to the weather. The city built on the highest altitude in Zimbabwe is Marondera. It was actually built by the British to cater for their victims of war in the Second World War who needed to recuperate. They will be moved to Marondera. And the weather is so different from what you experience here in Birmingham. So there's a place for you if you have been in the diaspora for so long and you can't cope with the heat of where you came from. We welcome you in Marondera. And we have stands that are available. We have 10 local authorities, 2 in Marondera. We have a local authority for each of our districts. That land is available. And we have left all the details with our embassy and all the details, of course, with Zido. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to keep going, but whatever you are doing, even if you are in the health sector, the more people, society by nature is stratified. The caste system is not just an Indian system, it is an indelible imprint in the DNA of every human being. People want to feel different from others. So, for you to invest in high-end, even medical facilities. As a government, we've been fighting so strongly against drugs and substance abuse. But Honorable Magomo will confirm this point. One of the lacking aspects to our fight is the aspect of rehabilitation. I'm sure you've seen high-end just in the newspapers. You have heard that one of the sons to the former president is struggling with drugs. I'm not here to talk politics, all right? one of the biggest moguls, we know that their son is also struggling with drugs. So these are people with money. But you know, the problem is, yes, we can send them to prison, but we also want you to come and build rehabilitation facilities. And that land is available in Mashonaland East Province. So there is a lot that we can say. I was sharing with those who came to the expo on Thursday. I have some diasporans who have come in the province. I want to give you this as I conclude. Now, I know that everyone in the diaspora, when they say minister of state, like Honorable Magomo from a rural province, the thing that immediately springs into their mind is the issue of land. People in the diaspora, they want land. They want to be allocated farms. They want plots. You know, they want to be able to show on their Facebook and on their status. They want to replicate what Mr. Mwamuka is doing here in England. They want to replicate it back at home. And I know that everyone, given a choice, they would want to be either in Mashonaland East Province or in Mashonaland Central, in Mashonaland West, because the ecology of the place is so good. But this is the point. We have been distributing land since 2000. In fact, I am part of the Soshe people. We initiated this in 1998, if you know Chief Soshe, though that's my clan, in 1998. And then the government went full throttle the land reform program in the year 2000. We are in 2025. For the past 25 years, we've been distributing land. But please understand that land is a finite and an inelastic resource. There's no way we can just keep distributing land, because we've taken land from the other people and land is now in the hands of our people. When you ask Honorable Magomo to give you a piece of land, you are actually asking him to take a portion that belongs to another. You understand? So my question is, my answer is, we no longer have land to distribute. In Mashonaland East Province, the waiting list is on 68,000. People want land with bona fide, detailed and everything proposals. But it's not all gloom. I also have a database of everyone who has not been able to utilize, and they are ready for joint venture partner. If you are to manage, you know, changed. But I was telling people about a couple who came from Australia. They went there, they were in the health sector, and they came back and they established what is called Silver Blue Farm on the outskirts of Harare in Goromons. They are on 20 hectares and they have 500 head of cattle, zero grazing. They're producing milk. They are actually packaging the milk, processing it into yogurt, cheese, and sour milk, and they're making a good fortune with their from the farm to the market strategy. They're also having, they're also on the other plot, which is, I think is, it should be 16 hectares, so they have a total of 36 hectares. They're doing 200,000 chicken at a go, because they've brought in the technology from German and they are able to do that. And I was having a discussion with them and I invited the Minister of Land and we have found land for them. Now, this is the story that I want to tell you as I finish. If Mr. Mwamuka comes to my office and says he wants a piece of land, I'm likely motivated to go out of my way to find a piece of land for him. Because against all the odds, he has demonstrated that he's got a passion for farming and is committed to farming, even doing it so far away from Zimbabwe. Now, with folk who don't even have, you know, a small bed of, what do you call it, of spinach, but they expect me to give them 100 hectares. Come on. So everyone has come from some village. My advice to you, go back to your village. Start small. Do something. Show us what you are capable of doing. Demonstrate your prowess. Invite the Minister of State. If it's in Vurwi, invite Honorable Agomo. If it's in Banket, invite Honorable Chombo. When they are impressed, they'll be motivated to find land for you. So it doesn't matter where you get started, but start small. Excel in whatever you do and bring us on board. We will be able to find you land. So we have land, but we don't have land. I hope I've spoken to someone. So in the interest of time, ladies and gentlemen, Zimbabwe is open for business, and the gateway into Zimbabwe is, of course, Mashonaland East Province. I thank you.